what's up? I'm Amin Dhillon, and welcome to my podcast. I'm sitting down with the movers and shakers and the stars to chat about life, love, business, and being a total boss. It's raw, it's candid, it's the stories behind the headlines. This is In Conversation. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm sitting down with Lisa Sohanpal, who's the co-founder and CEO of the best named brand ever, Nom Noms World Food. Lisa, what a great name, and welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Thank you. Good. I'm really good. Do you know what it means?
Nom Noms means I'm like delicious. That's what I would say. Like,
That's
are you
good.
hungry? Yeah, I can have some Nom Noms, but I'm sure you have
Awesome.
another.
That's a goal. So when you look it up, when you Google it, it's the sound that one makes when eating delicious food in any language.
Nom
Nom
nom.
nom 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 nom.
nom.
Exactly what you said.
Okay,
So
I
you
don't think
got
I
it.
ever say that out loud. Usually in my head, I'm like,
Yeah.
but that's what I say. I go,
Yes, and
it's
that's the
good.
kind of noises that.
But I guess you
people are
can't name a
making.
product. That'd be difficult. So like, how do you spell that? How many M's in there?
Yeah, exactly. But there you go. So it's in any language. It means the sound that one makes. So
Okay, very cool.
it's related to our brand.
Yeah. So you're just having a great year.
Mhm.
So I was looking you up. So
Yeah.
you've already, I'm going to make you name all your awards. Over 30 awards. Can you
We're
name
up
all
to
them?
We're up to 40 now.
Up to 40. So there you go. See, I
you go.
blink and you get 10 more. So there you go. But amazing year, because for any business to get awards, I mean, people get excited by one or two. And for you to be at 40 already, like kudos to
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
So it's been 6 years. In 6 years, 40 awards. Pretty
Yes,
good.
Exactly.
Pretty good.
And about 4 of those years without a product in the market.
That's even
And
better.
so there was about 20 awards without even being in the market. And that's all just because of the concept. you
Yeah.
know, and the storytelling and the branding and things like that.
Where I first met you, you won the award at Tell Us Pitch,
Yes.
which is very prestigious here. So congratulations
Thank
again.
you.
Yeah, and you were there with your briefcase
Yeah.
of secrets, as I call it, but really a product. What did that mean for you to win that night?
It was great. It put us on the map in Canada, you know. So people started to find out. They were more curious about who we were, where we came from. All of a sudden, nobody's known us. And it was just a day before we launched into Pussatari's in Toronto. So
Perfect timing.
it was perfect timing. Yeah, exactly. So it means a lot, and I need to kind of shout out about it a little bit more locally.
Nom Noms. So basically, it's healthy, wholesome, ready to eat meals.
Yes.
And wraps
Yeah.
that not only are delicious,
Yeah.
but kind of allow you, the eater, to travel the world and learn a little bit about it without even
Yes.
leaving home.
Exactly.
Did I do a good job in describing it?
Oh my God, I'm impressed. It's amazing. Yeah, perfect. It's all about empowering our consumers to give them their time back. You know, time is a commodity now. Everyone's busy, everyone's rushed. No one has time to cook from scratch, even if they want to. By the time you go and purchase ingredients and then figure out what you want to eat tonight and then do all the prep, then eat and then wash up, it's a bit of a mission.
Yeah.
Right? You need to have time. So we're saying, look, let us take that pain away and give you healthy, wholesome food, all made with natural ingredients, so you can enjoy precious time with your friends, family, and
Yeah.
you know. And then the other idea is to really take our consumers on an adventure around the world, because we are becoming global citizens. And a lot of our consumers aspire to travel, but they don't get a chance. So what if, you know, we were able to, you know, inspire them to travel, give them a little peek of what's it like to be in the streets of India and then the rainforest in Malaysia, and embrace the world, embrace the flavors that we bring to the table, and then impact lives at the same
Yeah.
time.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, so before we get to the idea, because
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember or figure out how you came to this idea. Like, we're in the
Right.
kitchen and just like, you're like, I see it all. Let's go back. So
Yes.
you can tell from the accent, you're not Canadian.
That's right.
So an Aussie
yes.
of Indian heritage.
Have I still got the accent? The
You
Aussie
do.
accent? Okay,
But
good.
see, it's such a soft accent that
Right.
it's like there, but it's not to
Yeah.
the point where I'm like, at least I have no idea what you're saying, which is nice. Because you know what I'm talking about. There's
Yes.
some accents, like especially I want to say like North British accents.
Yes.
Very slangy,
Yeah.
very thick, that I need like
Yes,
subtitles. Like the only
exactly.
way is Essex. I did tune into that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it reminded me when I first met my husband. He's Welsh. Well, he's British, but,
Yeah.
you know, from Wales. And the first time he spoke to my parents, you know, they had this half an hour conversation. And I said, Mum, Dad, that's great. You know, you spoke for half an hour. What did you speak about? I don't know. I didn't understand
Oh
it.
no.
But yeah, so I'm a Sydney girl, from Australia, and moved to the UK for 10 years. We lived in Ann Arbor, Michigan for a year as well,
Okay.
and been in Toronto for 6 years now.
So what took you to the UK? Meeting your husband?
Yeah, so I met him in Melbourne at the Melbourne Cup races, and it's quite a big event.
Okay.
And
So he was visiting.
he was working there for a year.
Oh.
I met him about 3 months before his visa expired.
Perfect.
And yeah, exactly. And PR, like permanent residency, it was a big thing going on there where Indians from India were coming to Australia to get permanent residency. So when I met him, I said, "Oh, you just want PR." And in Indian, it's PR means love, right?
Oh.
So he's like, yeah. Like,
You're
what?
like, wow, he's really honest.
Yeah, really honest. Exactly. He loved Australia, wanted to be there, but I said, no, I want to go and travel. And so I kind of came to London,
London. And then both of you were doing your corporate jobs.
Yes.
So no one in the family, until you guys decided to do the idea, like had any background in food or food processing?
No, exactly. So he's an anesthesiologist and pain specialist. I was working as an international director in the field of neuromodulation. I was responsible for 47 countries around the world. And so naturally I was traveling, enjoying food and flavors from around the world. And since married to him, we were very busy professionals. And there's many of us, out there. Then we had this crazy idea that we should have kids. And then we had 3 in 3 years. And that's when life changed. Yeah.
3 in 3 years. Wow.
Exactly. And that's when, our professional busy lives became hectic. And it was just, we wanted our kids to have healthy, nutritious food and grow up to have a diverse palate. But we also didn't want to compromise on our health, our nutrition, just for convenience.
Yeah.
And so I was cooking curries from scratch. So it could be frozen, and then the nanny can defrost and feed them at the right time. And I go catch my flight in the morning. And then one day I put my hands up in the air and said, oh my God, what is everyone doing? How's everyone managing their kids' dinner, their own diets, And that's when the research started. And we looked at, we researched the market. We asked other parents what they were doing and found that 80% felt guilty about what they were feeding themselves and their kids due to time constraints. So we went out to the market and we found, oh my God, there's a lot of food out there, but it's full of preservatives, additives, there wasn't any authenticity. It was all just kind of highly processed food. So we thought there isn't really a brand that inspires the next generation to eat well and do well, Yeah. So there was an opportunity to create a brand and then tell stories through food and packaging.
Okay, but tell me about that decision of going, okay, you two sound like you have really good jobs.
Yeah.
People will be very happy to get to that level.
Yeah.
So you decided, because you co-founded with your husband, so both of you decided, we're going to leave.
Well, he didn't leave.
Oh,
so
he didn't.
He was still paying the bills, and he still is.
Okay.
I started the company 1 month before my third baby was born.
Okay.
Right? So,
interesting.
Yeah. And that was interesting because I was taking him to, production meetings and things like that. But it was a big culture shock, I have to say, because it came from a corporate environment. I had a budget. I had teams all over the world. And now trying to kind of do this from scratch in an industry that I've not been in, was really challenging. So that was one of the biggest challenges to really, just get going and understand that I'm on the right track. But then there was a lot of, from the industry themselves, they were saying, oh, no, it can't be done. No, it's too difficult, too complex. Oh, it's going to be too expensive. And, so there was a lot of no's and a lot of resistance because manufacturers were equipped to do things in mass production in a certain way. So I had to kind of fight those battles to get my brand and my concept out. So it was just once you're in, you're in and you see the vision and then you just have to make it happen. So that's what I did.
But still, I was like, for you to be, with small kids, about to have your third, then decide I'm going to totally leave and enter this new industry. So just tell me about that decision because I feel like people sometimes have an idea and they're just like, not right now. And I've interviewed other people that have sat on ideas for like 10, 20 years just because other things came in. So how long did it actually take you before you went, I have the idea, I'm going to do this?
Yes. Really good question. So At first, I actually started off with two ideas. One, it was Exchange City. So it was a platform where you can exchange goods, services, or knowledge without paying cash.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of restaurants have free tables. So, or hair salons have, can offer free haircuts, but they want, web design instead. So you donate those free times in exchange for points or credits, and then you can use those credits to get painting done, web services, someone to walk your dog, in exchange.
Yeah.
So it's like that platform. And I just came up with the idea because I thought it was a great idea. Okay. So I did a startup weekend to go and test the idea and see what everyone else thought. And I had to pitch on stage. There were technology developers, strategists, all these people. And my idea was one of the 8 that got picked. Then we had to form our teams, and we had 54 hours to launch the idea and pitch to investors. So 54 hours, we had to do the MVP, did everything. I had a team, and we won it.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, amazing. Like, I'm going to do this. It's really cool. I'll stay at work and, do this kind of on the side. Then, and then I started mini Nom Noms. That's how we actually started, because it's all about the kids. And I just thought, I'm going to do both, because I know I'll find out which one I'm going to dedicate myself to. And that turning point was when an investor asked me to come in to see and speak about Exchange City. And he asked one question. And then that was a question that made me change my mind and focus on Nom Noms. And he said, how did you come up with the idea? What does it mean to you? How does it solve any problem? And I just looked and thought, I just think it's a great idea. Right?
Yeah.
Right? But Nom Noms came out of a personal need.
Yes.
See, I felt that I needed a product like this, and then there must be other people that needed that too. So all that time I was doing my MBA. I was thinking I'd love to, start a business. I need an idea. Couldn't think of an idea. And then it was just out of this personal need, when you're in that situation and you think, I wish there was something like this for me. That is that signal. That is that light bulb moment when you think, there's nothing like this in the market. I need this as a customer. There's got to be more like me, And so that was a decision. And the one other point was, I was working so hard in my corporate job, and I thought, if I was putting this much energy and passion into my own business, imagine what I could do. So that there were two of these points that, kind of pushed me into this angle.
You decided to pursue Nom Noms. Then, honestly, I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you then go, okay, I have the idea. How do I
Yeah.
make it happen?
Yes.
It's food. You have to first of all
Yes.
figure out, how do you get all these ingredients
Right,
and,
yes.
find that magic formula where they don't expire the next day. They
Yes.
come together and make something delicious,
Yeah.
find someone to make it, package it. There's a
There's a
lot.
lot.
So in
Oh
terms
my
of
God.
before you even got the
Yeah.
product out, how long did it take you in terms of just making the product?
Yes. Oh my God. It started in the kitchen, I have to say.
Okay.
Mother-in-law was product developer. Father-in-law was chief stirrer.
Okay. Did they have a background in this?
No,
or is,
no.
Okay.
They were just in the kitchen. They're good cooks. Mother-in-law is a great cook. And we thought, okay, we're going to bring exotic flavors mainstream. Okay. So we need to find out which flavors, which colors, which texture, what is it going to be that's going to really excite the consumer? So I decided to do a taste testing with the daycare where my kids were going.
Okay.
And so I remember that whole weekend I was, we were preparing and we were making little tikkis, we were making different types of biryanis, different kinds of fish curry and all of that. Making. And then on the way to the daycare, I was getting phone messages from other moms saying, oh, Lisa, just letting you know that Jasmine doesn't eat foreign food. So I'm like,
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Her name's
exactly.
Jasmine.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, just letting you know so you don't mind if, she doesn't eat any. And I go, okay. Then I get another message. Oh, Lisa, Adam doesn't eat spicy food. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing entering this, kids' food space?
And everyone's so particular.
They're the most challenging and fussy eaters.
And kids are very picky.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? I, started to sweat. I just spent the weekend cooking and I go, well, this is the test. If nobody's really going for it, then we know and we
Yeah.
can get out really quickly. So we got there, and then I saw the parents, with the kids, and I said, okay, parents, on the side, you're going to observe. Because a lot of times parents are the barriers. Because parents, because a lot of parents actually don't know how to cook or grade spices or cook with spices. So they think something that is hot is spicy. They call that. Whereas we say flavorful. Like spices bring flavor, the heat without, the flavor without the burn. And that was a different mindset to educate, spicy doesn't mean hot that's going to blow your head off. It just means flavor.
Yeah.
So got the parents onto the side and I said, observe your kids. Gave them a thali, a multi-compartment plate. And I said, go for it. We captured emotions, what kind of faces they were pulling at first instant, when they took their first bite, color, texture, which ones were they going back for, which ones they were staying away from. And Jasmine was going back for seconds and thirds.
Oh, amazing.
And Adam was licking the bowl of the chutney.
Yeah.
And the parents on the side, they're like, what?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Every time I've taken them to a restaurant, we just give them naan and rice because there's nothing else that's suitable for kids, right? Or yogurt. We don't even, venture out or even risk giving them something because they're going to say no. And wow, I'm surprised.
So it was a hit.
So it was a hit. So it's like, hey, I think we're onto something. I think, we need to do this. And that's where it started. Yeah.
Okay, so the first test was good.
Yeah.
So then how do you now get from just having your in-laws cook
Yeah.
for you? Because kudos to them, but I think there's only so many meals they can churn out. How do you get it to become mass produced?
Yes. Oh my God.
I feel that would be the hardest thing because that's like
It
a
is.
marriage, to find someone that
is.
you feel comfortable working with,
Yeah.
that has the same values, that you have trust.
Yes.
Because when you say, I need it by this date and this quantity, you got to trust that they're going to deliver.
Oh my God. Exactly.
So I may have some experience with manufacturers. So.
Right. Looks like it. Yeah. So that was very, very tough because we consulted with the food consultants at first, because not from the industry. We thought, okay, they know what needs to be done. And we've determined which flavors were going to be a hit.
Okay.
But then we got a lady called Emma Grisette. She's a culinary spice expert.
Oh, what a great job.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she came in, and her job was help create the commercial recipes. Okay, these are great in the kitchen. You know how we cook, bit of this, bit of that, whatever.
Yeah.
Everything has
It's
to
all
be
by
measured,
taste. Yeah.
Precise to the milligram.
Exactly.
And back in those days, we were trying to bring out these flavors without salt. Okay.
Why?
So it was
Is
really,
salt really
really
bad for you,
challenging.
even a little bit?
It's not that bad. But we were trying to do something very,
Yeah.
very different, because when you looked out into the marketplace, it was very high in salt.
Yeah.
And our palates get adapted to that. And then the more you have, the more problems there are. So you get used to it, and then you just keep on increasing. And so we tried to do that first. And so we got experts in to come and bring flavors together without the salt. And that was really challenging. But what happens is when you, when you start eating less salt in your food, then you get used to that. And then you feel like it's too salty if it's, normally. So we went through that transition. But then when we were getting inquiries from airlines and all of that, did you know that your taste buds change in altitude as
No.
well? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And also when you take
Do
medication
you
in
crave
hospital.
saltier things the higher
Yeah,
you are?
so anything that you cook at ground level that is really tasty, and at altitude it's bland. Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
So we learnt all of these things,
Yeah.
right? We learnt about allergens as well, and how things should be processed. And, I did a lot of reading and everything. So it was very, I came from a medical background. Everything had to be very clinical and all of that. So I was very accustomed to reading, validating things. If someone said, no, that's not possible, well, why isn't it possible? Are there any trials done, And I was challenging the industry. And I think that's what the benefit was from coming outside the industry, because you come into the industry, you don't just do things the normal way. You bring a new perspective. And I think that ended up working in my benefit, because otherwise it's very easy to say, oh, okay, oh, you're the expert, okay, so I trust you. I had one manufacturer say, we've been doing this for 40 years and you're telling us how to do things. And I said, no, I'm not telling you how to do your things. I'm telling you how you should make my brand, like my product. This is how I want it. And it was like this constant battle. So we use a culinary spice expert to make sure the flavors were right. And then we had to take it into the commercial kitchen and then commercialize those recipes. And those recipes aren't like what you see in the books, you know, a tablespoon of this, a teaspoon. It's like in percentages. Like even if I try to make it at home, which I have tried, you know, I get the scale out. I have to measure everything to percentage. And it's like really complicated.
Not easy, okay.
Yeah, it's really, really complicated. And there's a knack to it as well. So we had to take it from that, and a lot of things change along the way, because what you cook in the kitchen, then you're trying to do it at mass scale in, you know, 200 kilogram kind of pots and things. There's a lot of tweaking that has to go on and changes. But then, you know, if you're not there throughout the process, you have to rely on these experts to deliver on what you have approved. And it wasn't always the case, you know, like we had just approved and signed off the recipes, amazing food and flavor, and then what's on the shelf, it's not even the product that we approved.
Why would it not be what you signed off on?
Yeah, exactly. That was the question, the big question.
Was it just like something happened in the testing phase where the percentages were off? Where was it?
No idea what goes on behind those closed doors, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, I've never been in a food processing, but I feel like they put into the system like what the recipe is.
They should be following it. And that was the biggest challenge, is trying to create consistency. So I had the same butter chicken recipe. In the UK, when we moved over here, then I'm trying to find manufacturers here. Same recipe, tastes different. It's a commercial recipe.
That's so weird.
Different ingredients, like the meat is different, the chicken's different, or I don't know.
And did you ever talk to any other companies and say, is this common or is this just happening to you?
Yeah. So the same recipe, it's common. And that's why a lot of people just focus on one manufacturer, get it right before moving around. Then I got approached by ADM, which is one of the largest flavoring and ingredients company. And they asked me 2 questions. You know, they saw me present in New York and all of that, and they really loved the concept. And they asked me 2 questions. Lisa, what's your ambition for the brand? And I said, well, I want it to be a global healthy world food brand. You know, like I want it to be synonymous with healthy living, healthy food. It's around all the time for every meal occasion. That's the dream. What's your challenge? I said, it tastes different every time.
Yeah.
You have it on board an airline, you have it, you know, back at the shop, at home. It's different, and it's a nightmare. I'm flying over to the UK just to do taste testing to say, put a little bit of lemon, right? Add a little bit of paprika. And it was like, this is ridiculous. So they said, let us solve that problem. So what we've done, we've now created our secret formulations. And these are the spice blends, our masala, right?
Yeah.
So now the manufacturers around the world have to purchase the Nom Noms Indian spice blend, the Nom Noms Moroccan, Nom Noms Mexican. It's a certain number. They don't get the recipe of the spice blend. Yeah, they add the protein and the vegetables. They follow the recipe.
So they can't do anything to it. It is as it is.
And now it tastes the same. So now you go to France, you go to the UK, we're launching in the Middle East. It's all going to taste the same because it's that authentic flavor that we were so focused on delivering. And that's made it so much easier now to go global, because now we don't have to develop the recipe again and again and again with everybody. Yeah.
So how long did that take?
That's why it's been 6 years and I feel like I've not done anything yet.
Yeah.
You know, we're only getting started now.
Because when did you start getting on the first retail shelves?
Yeah, in the UK, 2015.
2015, okay.
Yeah.
So
and then we were sold out, you know, we saved up all our pocket money.
Actually, let's talk about that, because I always feel like the first one is always like that. Like, yes, I've made it. So what was it like? So did you have like a list of dream retailers and you're like, okay, I'm going to march in there with my briefcase and they're going to be like, Lisa, we will clear all the shelves for you. Like, get rid of this brand that we've had for 20 years or 40 years. We're going to put your product right there. I mean, clearly it was like that, right?
Of course.
Of course.
I just had to rock up with my bag.
And don't even make an appointment. Just like walk in and be like, you hungry? It's lunchtime. I'm going to feed you and I want my product here.
Yeah. It was good. We got Selfridges.
If only it was like that.
Well, we got Selfridges on the first go, and Ocado, which is an online grocer.
That's really good.
Yeah, so that was really good. And yeah, we were really excited. We got it on the shelf. And I remember that first delivery as well. Okay. First delivery, we couldn't get anybody to deliver the stock to Selfridges. So yeah, it was going to cost a bomb, you know.
Oh.
Yeah. So we drove like 3 hours to go pick up the stock, had to wear those big coats, train the staff on how to pack the products, then drive to Selfridges warehouse at the back. And they said, sorry, you can't enter.
Why?
And I go, what? Why? Oh, you need to wear the jacket. I go, oh, okay. These guys standing outside smoking. Can we just borrow your jacket? We have to try to deliver the stock. We're launching in like 20 minutes, you know, on the shelf. And they go, okay, yeah, you can wear the jacket. Okay, so we go back in there now. And we go, okay, we're here to deliver the stock. And they get out the temperature gun. And we had the stock. It's fresh food, refrigerated food, just in the car. It wasn't a refrigerator car.
Oh no.
Right? So now they get out the temperature gun.
It's gonna be room temperature.
And it's like, and my heart's beating. I go, oh no, don't tell me, you know. I was like, Vaiguru.
Yeah.
You know, oh my God. And we passed it. It was fine.
Oh,
It wasn't,
goodness.
because it was all packed together. It contained its temperature, and it didn't really defrost and stuff. So we made it onto the shelf, and the lady was stacking the shelf, and one lady just came, my first customer, I guess, and she grabbed one of each box and went straight to the counter. She didn't even know. So we, like paparazzi, we go, oh my God, the first customer, get your phone out, you know, chase after her.
I would have like literally been like, I will name my next child after you. Like I was gonna leave it at 3, but I'm just so happy because it really means a lot to you to be like,
Yes.
there's somebody that actually wants my product. Even though I would have liked it if she was like, oh my God, I wasn't gonna get this, but what amazing packaging. Like, weren't you kind of like, don't you want to look at it a little bit more? Do you see this and that? And she's like, I just like the name. I took it.
Yeah, well, we went after her and asked her the same question, right?
Is there a photo of her somewhere out there?
Yeah. I always use that photo in all my pictures and everything because she's our first customer. You know, I could frame her.
What's her name? Do you remember her name?
I don't even remember her name. Well, we got her permission. Can we use this photo? And she goes, of course. And I asked the question, what made you pick it up?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I just saw it looks something new on the shelf, and you know, my dinner sorted for the week. I had Malaysian, Indian, Mexican. I'm like, wow, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the right answer. You know,
You're like, please tell your friends and family.
So then we saved up to have enough production to supply Ocado and Selfridges for 6 months.
Okay.
But we sold out within 50 minutes of going live.
50 minutes.
The first order.
Wow.
And then 6 months stock that we had saved. In 6 weeks, we sold out.
What is 6 months stock? Like, how many units is that? Do you have an idea?
So we had about 50,000 units.
So 50,000.
Yeah.
And so how many were sold out in 50 minutes?
In the first order, say about 2,500.
Okay, yeah.
That was the
But still,
first
yay.
order. But then, you know, 6 months stock, we sold out in 6 weeks, and it was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
We need to figure this out because we can't.
It's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought until I remember moving over to Toronto. And I had to ring the Ocado director to say, I'm sorry, but we don't have enough stock. We're going to short supply you. And he literally screamed down the phone, are you serious? He goes, you have no idea how to deal with a multi-million-pound business. You know, this is not the way that we'd like to treat our customers. And you're treating us like that. You should have been prepared. I'm like, what? Because we'll have to just take you off, you know, the shelf.
No.
And I'm like, what? I was like,
wow,
oh,
they do not like having empty
No.
shelves. Okay.
No, exactly. I didn't know that. I just thought as long as I'm open and honest, you know, and give them enough notice, they'll be fine. No.
I would have asked him, been like, but how am I supposed to predict? Like, can you give me advice? I will follow it and not let this happen again.
Yeah.
I wonder if he had an answer for you, but he wouldn't.
Yeah, no. I asked the question to the buyer at the first instant, what do you think the forecast is going to be? How can we prepare? And he goes, I don't know. I don't know how much you're spending on marketing and what are people going to say about your product. And, no idea. And I go, right, okay, thanks.
And let's actually talk about that. So what do you think allowed you to sell so quickly? Were you doing any sort of marketing promotions or was it literally just store presence? They saw it and
No. So at least 6 weeks beforehand, we were... you know, in social media, telling our story, creating anticipation. I think that's really, really important in any market is to generate demand. You know, like we did the countdown, 10 more days to get your Nom Noms, 9, 8,
Yeah.
7, really create excitement. So when it was launched, it was like, oh, it's sold out. Then
Okay.
I couldn't order
That makes sense
even
then, yeah.
myself. And we knew that was going to work inexpensively in terms of
Of
social
course.
media.
Mhm.
And we did everything, even handing out leaflets and things. Like we did everything to get the brand out there. And we're so excited the first time.
Yeah, of course.
But then this stop-start relationship with the market wasn't good. We were high-fiving each other on one side, going, oh, wow, out of stock, sold out. And then on the other side, cringing and feeling sick that, we can't
fulfill
keep
the-
up.
yeah.
We can't keep up with the demand.
And was that because you just didn't have enough money to buy it, or was it that the manufacturers just couldn't have the
so
capacity?
Combination.
Yeah.
First
Because
of all,
let's actually mention that you're
Yes.
self-financing this
Yes.
in the beginning. So
Yeah.
all of was it literally your money or friends and family helping
Yeah,
you?
so
or?
most of it is ours, but we had a very nice buwaji auntie,
Perfect. They'll get a big Christmas card.
Yes, for sure. She was there from day one, like helping us, supporting us.
Can I ask you how much money did it require to get it off the ground?
Off the ground, yes. At least $1 million.
I was gonna say it sounds very expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wow.
If someone told me that at the beginning, I'd like, no. It's crazy to think that it would cost that much. And we went through a stage where we had staff, then we said we can't afford staff,
Oh no.
that kind of thing.
Were you able to get loans?
Nobody gives loans. There's no credit history.
So all of this had to be
So-
either money you saved or from
or
your family.
Yeah, friends and family. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. Okay. So that explains. I mean, as much
Yeah.
as you would love to buy more, I mean,
Yeah.
where are you supposed to get the money from?
Exactly. And, and then every investor that you speak to at that time is like, oh, we want to see local traction. We want you to have $1 million in sales before we invest. You're too early right now. And it's like, how am I supposed to get there? I've got a great brand story, a compelling proposition, traction, and all of these things. And it wasn't enough. Even awards and all that, it still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And so we had to move countries to continue. That was the reason.
That's why you came to Canada?
So because we used up all of our money, and Imi is a doctor.
Where can people go that are bankrupt? Canada. Here we go.
And the NHS, doesn't really pay doctors that well in the UK.
Okay.
Canada does. So
Oh, we do? Okay.
yeah. So that allowed us to keep the lights on, and for me to keep on doing it full time from here. So since moving here, I've been starting work from 3 a.m. every day. Without fail.
Why is that? Because of the
Because
time
we're still in
difference?
the UK.
Oh, and they're 5 hours. Yeah.
Still there. I wake up in the morning. I've got my phone in my hand. And it's like,
Did you wake up today at 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
Wow. You're going to have to tell me your secret to be so energetic. Because, folks, you can't tell.
Coffee. You gave me the coffee. 3 a.m. without fail. That's when it all starts.
Yeah.
And the things that I have in my mind that I need to do for this country, forget it. It has to be in the UK, Europe first, because of the time difference. They stop work. Like 12 o'clock here is 5 o'clock over there. So I have to time my priorities according to the market.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when does your day end?
There were times where I was, continuously working, continuously through even trying to feed kids dinner, putting them to
Yeah.
sleep. I'm still on my phone and all of that. But now, I try to be, a mom and a wife and a businesswoman and everything else. And I'm now becoming numb to the challenges.
Okay. What do you
Yeah.
mean by that?
I'm so used to the challenges every day that it doesn't get to me anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think of ways to resolve it and then carry on. But before, at the beginning, it was like, oh my God, manufacturer stuffed up or whatever, or this product is out in the market like this, like the biryani with white chicken on top. That's my product. It's my reputation. And
Yeah.
I used to let it really affect me.
Of course. This is your baby.
It's my thing,
Yeah. And those are costly mistakes too.
Yes. And I'm standing up on stage and going on about my brand. And then if it doesn't deliver on the taste and the proposition, that's me on the line. So I used to let it affect me a lot. Now, because I've learned that now I don't think anything is going to go smooth. So let's prepare for the worst, right? And we prepare that if this happens or that happens and this happens. And again, like today, I made a very good decision, which was to finally say no to something,
Okay.
right? Because so many great opportunities come your way, and then you do, and you scramble around and you make things happen. You push yourself, and everything. And to one very big customer today, I decided that no, I'm not going to launch in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, they want it in 2 weeks?
Yeah, they want it in 2 weeks. Well, we've been preparing for this for about 6 weeks.
Okay.
But
still, I feel like they should be like months in advance, like even a year, just to be like, hey,
to
like,
be ready.
Yeah.
This is one of the biggest retailers in the world.
It's Walmart.
No, no. We're launching with them. We're launching with them, and we can't stuff up there either. So we're already preparing for
I
that
know
one.
enough of these interviews that Walmart is the dream, right? Like you're like retiring now because I'm in Walmart.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
Well, just
know.
because they have so much traffic that apparently if you have your product there, it's guaranteed to move because just things move so much there.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, I got invited to Arkansas, and we've got Walmart in fresh and frozen. We're starting in May next year. But this is another one. And I'm very close with the president of this company too. So I don't want to let these people down, like when you build a relationship and, you give your word and you want to deliver. But I thought it's better to postpone the launch and do it successfully than do a half-hearted job because things just didn't happen on time. Printing, we're not going to get the printing on time. And then, the food's not going to be made on time. And there's all these elements. So, I have to say no and say, okay, if it's not going to be now, let's do it in January. And we'll be super, super prepared. And
of course,
we'll be better. But it's hard to say
it's hard,
no.
I can tell. Because you always think like, what if I don't get, like something changes and they change their mind or something. Like once you're in, it's kind of hard to get rid of you, right? So.
And last night I was at dinner with one of the national retailers in Canada. And they're chasing me. They're chasing me like, come on, give me the codes. Let's get you on the system. Let's do this. I'm like, yes, I will. I'll do it. But I'm hesitant a little bit because I don't want to start being bootstrapped. I don't want that stop-start relationship again. Because we get so obsessive about our customers. We want that experience to be so good that we want to be able to fulfill orders and press the green button and go. So so that's why now I'm trying to raise the capital. I've solidified my supply chain around the world. Everything's all ready. Now it's trying to find the right investment partner that sees a vision, give us the fuel, and then we can hire people and build the team out and just go for it.
How much money have you raised so far?
So it's just been bootstrapped. So say we.
I thought it's been 6 years. I thought like maybe you've already had some people come on board
because it was always like we moved here and it's like, you haven't got any products in Canada? We need to see local traction. Like, you're joking. Okay. What about everything I've done in the UK?
Yeah.
Oh, that's UK.
Okay.
In US, we're launching in the US in a very big way. But investors are like, oh, well, we need to see local. I'm like, oh, you're joking. The customers are the same. Everyone needs healthy food at their fingertips, and we're solving the gap. But now it's different because I've built a brand over the 6 years, which now has a lot of value. But at the beginning, you're still trying to get brand recognition. You're still trying to tell your stories. You're selling a dream. Whereas now I'm so much more confident. I've got the traction. I've got the product, the brand. The retailers are like bidding against each other to have exclusivity and all of that. So we got to be very careful about, who we partner with and then make it hugely successful. And a lot of that behind the scene work is going on to make sure that once we get there and it's going to be good. Yeah. Don't want to compromise because of cash. Course.
Let me ask you, and I don't know if you've already done this, but when you were talking about that, I'm like, I picture you on Dragon's Den. So I don't know, have you already tried to pitch on there? Did I miss the episode? Or
I got approached for the UK Dragon's Den. So I got approached on there. I got a call from BBC, come and do it and everything. Went through the process, and then they gave me a date, which was the same day as my husband's med exams for Canada, board exams. So I couldn't make that date, and then they couldn't reschedule it. So
oh no!
I know. And then they approached me again, actually this year, and this year I'm like, the investments they make are really small. It's not going to do anything. A lot of effort and distraction to go on Dragon's Den, and when I've got big things to close over here.
I know, but can I tell you?
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if you got a bidding like
Yeah.
war with all the dragons.
Yeah,
And then even if you
Yeah.
decide to like pass on it, I
Yeah.
feel like then you can go to other investors and be like, well, just to let you know,
Yes.
like the 5 people on Dragon's Den, I mean, they were fighting over me. Okay,
Yes.
so
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good. I think it's a really good idea.
you're welcome for the
PR.
idea.
Yeah. I think it's really good for PR for sure.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of businesses actually I've seen on there.
Yeah.
Even if they walk away, just the press alone
Yeah.
gets them buzz to get into a retailer, just to be
Yeah.
like, I was on Dragon's Den and
Yeah.
I did get an offer.
Yes.
Right. I mean, it's different if they laugh at you and you walk
Yeah.
out with nothing, because that's not good PR for
Yeah.
you. But
Yeah.
if you get them being like, this is a great idea, like,
Yeah.
please, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe you'll get them to come up. Maybe they'll be like, normally this is the max we do.
Yeah.
But Lisa, for you,
Yeah.
you know, 5 mil. I don't know if that's a lot. 10
That'd be
mil.
good. Yeah.
I don't know how much you're asking for. So,
I know. I had to lower the ask when they told me to go
yeah.
on for the audition and everything. They said, just lower the ask. And I'm like, oh, man, this is not going to get... Yeah, there's too
Yeah.
much distraction here. I need to execute on Walmart and, these
Yeah.
other big guys.
So all these awards that you get, then really it's just like pennies to you, because I know some of them do give you cash. But the amounts I've seen, I think are like low thousands. So I really don't,
Yeah.
I see now how much money you need. I'm like, so it's nice to
Yeah,
have it, but it's
right.
probably like, I'll use
Yeah.
that in like a week, that kind of money, right?
I
Yeah.
know. But you know the best prize we ever won?
What?
So this was the day when one of the manufacturers... So we're just about to launch into 6,000 stores in the UK and Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4 o'clock in the morning, I get this phone call from a manufacturer, which is a big company.
Mm-hmm.
When I secured with them, I thought I hit the jackpot,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in good hands. But they took 18 months to develop the product, and nightmare. Anyway, 6 weeks before launching, get this phone call saying, sorry, we've had a business restructure and we can't make the food for you. Okay, you are joking. That was the first time I thought I had completely died. And why is it so difficult to get this product to market? It was so difficult. I was so upset. I remember I was thinking, it was one of those moments where, should I just give up? Just go get my job back and just, relax, because this is too stressful. And but it lasted a few hours, and then I was back on it trying to find another manufacturer to make my food. And then I went to pick up the kids in the afternoon, and I had left my phone at home. I refused to do any work that day. I was so upset. Picked up the kids, and then I saw my phone. There's all these messages. It was buzzing. I just won Great British Entrepreneur of the Year award.
Amazing.
And it was sponsored by Diageo and BMW, and they gave me a branded Countryman Mini car as a prize.
Yeah.
Branded with Nom Noms.
You're like, can I be refrigerated though?
Yeah.
Because I might have to transport my product.
Yeah, so it was like, well, that's the best prize, you know. And so that's what I mean by a roller coaster. Every day, is a bit of a roller coaster. You have shitty news, and then you've got to lift yourself up, and then it's like this amazing news and this amazing prize, and then it's like, oh, I've got to keep on going. We're onto something here. Can't be winning awards for nothing.
Of course.
So that just inspires, I guess. Winning these awards just keeps reaffirming that we're onto something, we're on the right track. Industry is recognizing it. So make it happen. So it's more, inspiring, self-motivation, I guess, reassurance. Yeah.
Do you have a strategy though? Because that sort of moment where you have the biggest retailer, you have committed to them.
Yes.
And then you get the call that the manufacturer can't do it. Like, that isn't just okay, you know what? That's like, how am I going to solve this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know who could possibly step in, right? Did you have a strategy, or how did you kind of pick yourself up every time you kind of get these moments of, I should just quit?
You would think that, we would learn from that, okay?
But it's hard to predict these things happen. Like, I know we say that, but I mean, how would you ever be like, hey, Lisa,
know.
plan B should be, let's just get that phone call and they screw me over. I better be prepared. Like, you can't.
You can't, right? So what happens? 4 months later, again. This time we're in co-op stores, 300 stores in the UK. 2 weeks before launching, they said they won't make the second production run. Okay, you're joking. So the UK, the British manufacturers are just a nightmare. And they're not really supporting emerging brands. They're keeping them out by giving them high prices, high minimum batch runs. You know, they want to steal your ideas, but they don't want to pay for it. You know?
Oh, okay.
You know? And so it's been very, very difficult that I thought when I came over here and I got Trader Joe's coming to see me, you know, like Nestle calling me and Tyson Foods, like all these big guys. And I'm thinking, oh my God, Trader Joe's one account is bigger than my whole UK opportunity.
Wow.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I need to go over and do my own Brexit.
Yeah.
That's what
You're on Brexit.
Yeah. So I went over.
Bye, UK.
Yeah. I went over to do my Brexit. Yeah, I did. No, I'm not joking. So I rang up the co-op and I said, listen, should Nom Noms stay or Nom Noms go? So I'm doing a referendum.
And what was the
like,
response?
are you serious?
Yeah.
We've never had a supplier call to be and say we want to get off the shelf, to be delisted. I said, can you delist us?
Wow.
Take us off. I don't want to be here. And they go, no, you can't. You're selling really well.
Oh, they don't even let you can't choose.
No, you can't even choose.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Because I
can't
thought you
choose.
just it was up to you.
Yeah, no. You're in the system. They've given you space. It's prime real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, you know, it's until a certain time. So it was January the 7th that she allowed us to get off the shelf.
Yeah.
But at that time, I went over and I was asking everybody, British Airways, we're on British Airways as well. I go,
Which is great because I mean,
Yeah.
hello, people want to eat good food on the
Yeah.
airlines.
but just having the manufacturer, UK manufacturer, dealing with all of that from here, you know, when I could be just in one account here and be good, I thought I've got to get out of there. But nobody will let us go either. And then I'm at the airport waiting to catch my flight back, and I get this random phone call from the chief media correspondent for the royal family,
Okay.
right? Robert Jobson.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that Princess Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have handpicked you to be featured in the next royal family book. And I go, what? I'm like, came over to do my Brexit. Now the royals are calling me. This is weird.
They got wind of it. They're
You
like,
know?
oh, we are not letting her go. We will win her back.
So I'm like, this must be a prank. I mean, what? This doesn't happen, you know?
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was serious. It was real. And we're in the book now. But then it just kind of then signaled that maybe we shouldn't leave the UK, still have a presence there, ride the wave, get some investment, and then, you know, build it out.
The royals saved the day. They
The
came
royals
in.
saved the
They
day.
didn't want to lose a gem, and they're like, we will put her in our book, which is really about our baby, but we're gonna put them in there as well.
I know, it's really weird because we're intertwined in their
You
story.
have it with you, right? Yeah, it's right there.
it's
Yeah.
right there.
So it's okay. I'm gonna grab it one second.
It's on page 254.
I love the
And
way you know
it's
the
a-
page.
I know.
Fine, we'll go there right now. Continue on. I'll try to find page 254. I'm at 47. Okay, a little bit more.
And it was all like our family story about Nom Noms. And they wanted, this was really funny. They, you know, wanted us to do a photo shoot, but make it look like we're in the UK. So we went to Casa Loma.
I was gonna say, wouldn't you just have the flag on your?
Yeah.
Okay, by the way, I cannot find this page here.
254?
254. I've seen it online though, because I
Yeah.
saw the whole families in there, including the kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, those are your actual kids, right? Like,
Well,
you
they're
didn't
my
get like,
actual
models
kids.
still.
And it was like, look at the camera, keep the box straight, and this and that. It was a nightmare trying to get it done.
Trust me, I know what
on
it's like to
time.
pose with them. Look at
Yeah.
these beautiful couple photos.
Yeah.
254. Oh my god, this book has so many pages. I'm not even at 228. Okay, almost there, guys.
But it was just like,
254.
wow. It's not it?
No,
It's
You
not
should-
even 254?
it's not 254.
Oh my
This is
God,
old
it-
photos of Queen Elizabeth.
So we must be over here somewhere. Here we are.
Oh, there we
What
go. We're
page
so
is it?
what page are you? 245.
245.
So close.
There we go.
Okay, this is a very heavy book, but I'll try to lift it. So there we go. Look at that good-looking family.
Oh my God.
That's really cool. And really, a Christmas card right here, right?
Yeah.
He's
it's
not.
nice.
He's over it though.
He's over it. He
Actually,
needed
they're
a
all kind of
haircut.
over it. So
Oh, there was so much screaming and fighting just for this photo shoot.
that is really cool.
Yeah. So yeah. I
Sign
was
from the
like-
royals and from above that you should
Yeah.
stay. Don't leave the UK.
Yeah.
They love you.
So we kept our presence there.
Can I ask you, how do you get a call from the royal
I had
family? Like,
no
how do they
idea.
find you? Like, even your phone number, that kind of creeps me out a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
like, whose numbers do they have?
Yeah, well, the thing is that right now, and I probably shouldn't mention this because now my phone's going to buzz, but the 1-800 number is kind of diverting to me right now
Oh, wow.
from the website. Yeah.
Do you not have customer care?
No.
You are customer care. You're wearing all the hats.
It's a virtual office in terms of very remote. We actually have around 30 people working for Nom Noms, but not employed by Nom Noms.
Okay.
So they're, experts in what they do. We have master storytellers, we have, social media and, photographers and all of these kind of things. And account managers in the UK and stuff like that, brokers in the US. And they're all like kind of affiliated, but not employed. So I don't have to pay sick leave and annual leave.
Oh, that's nice.
Salaries.
It just means
and
it's
all
less
that.
like paperwork for you, right?
Yeah. And, I had to decide. I mean, I want to build a company, have a team, build a culture eventually when I have the money to do that. But right now, it's all about execution. It's all about getting the product to market, telling our story and generating nom lovers from around the world to really engage and experience food, culture, the world, and charity, like all on one platform.
Yeah.
And if I had to manage people, that's another.
No, I get it.
That's another
You need
full-time
an HR
job.
department. You need proper the accounting department
Yeah.
that can keep track and
Yeah.
pay all the taxes and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with multiple countries then. So
Exactly. And because for 18 to 20 years, I was always working in more than one country. So this is the only way I've known to work is remotely and virtually to be able to be present in all these countries remotely.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's very normal. It's what I used to do, but in a different field. But for people that go 9 to 5 to a job or investors that are, just so Canadian centric or whatever, they freak out when I say, oh yeah, and in France we're doing this. Oh, in the UK we're doing this. Like, don't mention it. Like, this is too, like, start small, go to the farmers markets. And I go, oh, forget it. You're the
Farmers markets. Like, you're in like some of the biggest retailers, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're beyond that now.
Yeah. So it's, trying to find the right person with the right mindset.
Yeah.
That can see the vision.
Of course.
And unfortunately for the last 3 years, I kind of relied on someone else to go do the capital raising. And it's the biggest mistake I've probably made. I learned that when I was in Silicon Valley last week, that the biggest mistake founders make is for capital raising is relying on someone else to do it. Because investors invest in the entrepreneur as much as they do in the business. You always see it on Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
Investing in you, then the idea and the concept and traction, but the entrepreneur. And I was so focused on execution and operations and getting my product ready and, scaling, and that I wasn't the one that was going and telling my story and trying to convince investors to invest in me. I was relying on someone else that wasn't even part of my business. So I learned that just last week.
It's never too late.
Right? And I said, right, moving these roadblocks out of the way. Now I'm dedicated to doing this. And it's made such a difference just in 1 week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm having like real conversations, with people that get it. And I don't have to rely on someone else, to go and communicate that. Because people would ask, 6 years, what have you done in 6 years? And I go,
A lot, though. You have.
Why aren't you just in one country and make it work in one country and then go global? So these are the questions that middle people can't really answer. And because of our circumstances, the way we've bootstrapped it, kept it lean, negotiating pennies. I'm getting really good at negotiating now. I do give myself a pat on the back now when I get a good deal. Yeah, because, when it comes out of your own pocket, it means a lot more.
Every dollar counts. Yeah.
Every dollar, every penny matters. And people that just don't feel that when they join a company, because they get a budget and stuff, it's not really hurting them, pinching them,
Yeah.
So we've gone through all of that. And so when I look for someone that's coming into the team, I want to see that same kind of passion, that same kind of, savviness to business, always thinking about the customer, but also being conscious, not being ripped off. Because as a startup, you get scammers coming over and you get ripped off a lot too. So you got to be mindful.
Ripped off like how so?
Because you're always paying a lot more because you don't have the credibility, right? You don't have credit, first of all, right? So you have to pay in advance. You try to buy in small volumes, so then you're paying a lot more. It's costing you a bomb. And so you feel like you're getting sucked out. You know, you're ripped off. You know, people are charging you what they charge big companies and expecting you to pay that.
Yeah.
So you have to be mindful of that, you know, just because you get that one quote and that one price, go shopping and search around. And the people that kind of believe in what you're doing and want to be part of your success story, they're the ones to partner with. And you do get a lot of people coming in and saying that, you know, what you want to hear. So it's always good to have another viewpoint as well.
Yeah. Lisa, let me ask you, you know, you just mentioned the 6 years, how people ask you, what have you done for it? So I wanted to ask you, like, do you, when you look back, okay, I'm in my 6th year, how do you feel about how far you've come?
Yeah. So I always felt like I hadn't done anything.
Well, you do.
I always feel like I'm just about to get started. You know, it's taken me this long to get the formula right, you know, and I've been handcuffed, to be honest. I feel like I've been handcuffed. And why I say that is of all these people that have come along the way to say, stay small, don't think too big, you know, do this first, do that first. It's not possible. And when you hear it so often, you start to think, oh, am I with the fairies? I'm like, I'm sure I can do this. You know, I can manage the UK. I can do France because I've got it all set up. You know, I'm involved. I can do this. But trying to convince very traditional, conservative-minded industry veterans was a waste of time. That's what I've realized. So now I've got a very different perspective. Now I say, I've spent 6 years building the model to scale, right? Go global, but keep it local. Everything's local, but we go global. Tell me any brand that has done that, you know, that's able to go and launch in 5 different countries at the same time. So I've spent 6 years doing that, finding the right partners to do that. So once the investment comes in, we press the green button and we can go.
Yeah.
But and I feel confident about that now, and I feel proud of the fact that I've done that.
You should.
Because it's been the most hardest thing ever doing this business. The most hardest thing, and yet you still have to put the brave face. You still have to keep smiling, and you've got to always keep learning. You know, learning from every single experience that comes your way. And we laugh a lot. We do.
Okay.
Even though there's so many challenges.
That's how you keep saying, right?
Yeah. But we just actually go, oh my God, this is going to go in my best-selling book. This is going to be a chapter in the book. And it's all that content that we're building because it's all part of the story, a part of the journey. And as long as the vision is very clear, we know where we're heading, it's going to happen. So that's the belief that is really important.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you think when it comes to being able to laugh about it or being able to say, like, one day I'll put this in my book, how do you get to that feeling, though? Do you find because your family's involved that they've been able to, you can go to them and they've got you? Or do you have friends or other entrepreneurs that you go to on your days where you're just like, what am I doing? And they, like, get you and they pick you back up?
Yeah, you know, all this time it's probably been a very lonely job, right? Because you're, like, on your own trying to sort it out on your own. Now, my brother joined in January, and my husband's always been super supportive. Like, if he wasn't supportive, especially with the kids and everything, then I'd have no chance. So he's been super, super supportive and really believes in, you know, what we're doing. So that's really good. And then Johnny joined in January, and it was like another me, you know, like when he joined and he was sharing his passion and vision, it was like, my God, there's someone like me, you know? And so now, you know, we brainstorm, we're high-fiving each other at weird hours of the night, you know, when we get that moment, that light bulb idea or whatever it is, and we're on the same path. And I think that's made us a huge difference. Otherwise, you got to find other entrepreneurs and you speak to them and you realize, oh my God, you went through that too. And sharing those stories is really important too. And then that means you have to keep going out and networking and, and be open to talking about some of the challenges, because always you think that's not going to happen to me. When you hear it happens to someone else, you think, oh, now that I know that, that's not going to happen to me because I'm going to be more cautious. But you know what? There's a lot of things out of control. So you think it's normal. It gives you a bit of relief that it's not just you.
But isn't it nice, for example, when you're having all the difficulties with the manufacturers, if you didn't know that this happens to other people, regardless if it's food, it could be just a different product, but they've gone through the same experience. It makes you go like, okay, it's not just like a sign from the universe or God saying like, Lisa, this is not meant to happen. Like, this is why it's so difficult, you know, because sometimes you think like, why are there so many obstacles? Like maybe this is a sign. But then when you realize, no, this happens to everybody. This is actually quite common. Then it makes you almost go like, okay, like I get it, this is just part of the journey, the process, right? So I really think it does help to talk to other entrepreneurs because your problems are very unique. Someone who works for a company, as you remember, they don't have the same sort of understanding about it.
Exactly. And random things happen that unexpected. We still to this day have some stories where we look at ourselves and go, still can't explain why that's happened. You know, that's really, really weird. As much prevention you try to do, but then that's it. It's got us even more prepared and more resilient. So now, like when we started in Pusateri, we had some challenges. Now we were able to tweak and improve and get better at it. So now when we go into the bigger stores, it was a lesson, you know. It was like, yes, now we're doing this and we're going to be better at it when we scale. And sometimes those situations aren't the best because you're thinking, it's so much effort for smaller, footprint. But actually it was good because now we're much more confident we can go bigger.
Of course.
Yeah. And different problems here than in the UK as well. Same product, different problems. So there'll be a few chapters in the book about these kind of stories.
I'm sure it's not done yet, and that's why it'll be like a mini series. We'll just have like part 1, part 2. I want to quickly mention there's a big charity component, which I love about this because when I saw you at the Tell Us Pitch competition, I love the fact that so many of the businesses that were pitching there were giving back in some way, and I'm like, that's like today's world. Like, it's not just about like profit or having your product, but it's like, how do we make a difference? Everything from making the world a better place to climate change to, I know there was one that was helping farmers in third world countries be able to make a fair wage. So I was like, I love that they're all doing this. So you're doing your part as well, making sure that children that are not able to have access to healthy meals get access. So tell us about that.
And it's amazing because we were actually doing it out of our own personal satisfaction that we were in the food business. We wanted to feed hungry children. Then it was like, people actually want to do that. They want to feel part of this, and we were attracting new customers to the ready meal aisles because there's a brand that is doing better, not just food. So we thought, okay, actually we should leverage this. But I'm the only one that's getting these reports back from the school where we sponsor 300 children every day, their midday meal. So some of these kids are walking 20 kilometers a day, just to go to school because they're guaranteed a meal.
Wow.
And it keeps
where is this?
In Bridgepur Primary School, just out of Mathura, near New Delhi.
Okay.
Yeah. So we work with a charity called Akshay Patra Foundation, and they cook and feed 1.96 million children every day.
Wow.
So how we get involved is we sponsor an entire school of 300 children. And our goal is to keep on sponsoring more and more schools and keep kids off the street and in school to get an education. But we thought, how can we really empower the consumers or nom lovers, who are eating our food to see the difference that they're making, feel the difference they're making. So we thought, okay, first of all, we're going to integrate technology through the food and packaging. So when you open up the meal, if it's an Indian one, then you can experience the streets of India. You can learn how to cook a curry, learn about the ingredients that go into it. Through virtual reality and augmented reality, you can now enter the school to where these kids are, sit next to them in class through the phone or your iPad. And
wow.
Yeah.
That's really going above and beyond.
Yeah. So we're really trying to create immersive experiences to take you to that world, to that country, and give you an experience that you've never even dreamed of through our food and packaging. And that's the way that we can impact lives, and our consumers can see the difference they've made. So when you buy a Nom Noms product, you get access to 150 digital tokens. Goes into your digital wallet. You go through our app, and then you can exchange those tokens to experience the world or redeem those tokens to feed hungry children.
Wow.
So then you get a report saying, thank you, Amin. Did you know you just fed 25 children this month?
That is
you
really
personally
amazing and so easy.
Yeah, so you personally fed, because right now it's one for you is one for them. It's on our packaging. You don't know if we're really doing it.
That's true.
Right? So we want to give that transparency that you can see the difference that you're making, and that you can even go and experience and even walk behind these kids and experience see the world through their eyes. And really, there's this paradox, you know, on one side we're fighting obesity in this world, and then there's poverty and hunger.
Yeah.
You know, and it's trying to really, and we're becoming global citizens. And when people travel, they get that perspective that poverty and hunger coexist in every country. Our goal is in every country that we sell, we empower the consumers to donate back to their community. So not just India, it's in India right now, but you know, in Morocco, in the UK, there's Hungry Kids. Canada, No Kid Hungry, we're talking with them as well. And so that, you know, the community feels that they're making a difference in their local community and they're more empowered. Yeah.
What I really also love about that was I'm picturing these kids that are maybe growing up in places where they don't have exposure to diversity. Or, you know, you were mentioning parents play a role in what their kids eat.
Yeah.
Sometimes parents, even when they don't mean to, pass on their beliefs to their children as well. So if they've never encountered anyone from outside their, you know, wherever they're from, they pass on to their kids. And that's why I think, you know, in today's world where a lot of us focus on the differences, and that always like blows my mind when I'm like, oh my gosh, like why is everyone fighting with each other? Like this whole nationalism and even Brexit, like, you know, everyone's like, okay, just it's us, like no one else. So with your food, everyone's always taught me that when you break bread with someone, that's like brings people together because you can bond over food, right?
Yes.
I mean, we all like to eat, and you know, you get to experience new flavors and new types. So I'm just picturing these children opening up their kits and not only getting a delicious meal that they may never have exposure to, but then learning about where their meal comes from. And even if they don't have the means to ever visit that country or they're too young to ask those types of questions, they're readier, like if they ever encounter someone from that background, they don't have to be like, I'm not sure, or question or not feel safe to be like, I've tried food from your country. Like, you know, that's so cool. I love this and that. So I think that's so cool. That's not in your face, but it's kind of setting that platform to say like, let's have tolerance. Like we may be different, but let's celebrate those differences, and why not through food?
And it's proven, exactly right. You know, it's proven. It becomes normal. When that becomes normal and kids grow up with that kind of normal mindset, then there aren't any problems like that because they're embracing it from a young age.
And it makes it interesting because, I mean, to teach kids about different countries, it can be boring when they're little, right? Like, you know how kids are. I remember being in history class. Like, it always made a difference when you could take a field trip or go to the museum and actually see it versus reading out of a big, thick textbook or, you know, trying to picture it, but it's like so far from your world that you can't really like visualize it, right? So I'm like, here you have something that visualizes it, that you can taste it and actually like feel like it's come to you. That's
bringing the world closer.
That's
right?
crazy. Like, you're not feeding people, you're like kind of making the world a better place.
And I said, this is a good test. I said to I was trying to explain to Ishan, my son, that, you know, guess what, as a family we can collect so many of these tokens by eating nom noms that we could travel together around the world, right? So we could go and meet nom lovers in France and engage with them. And he goes, why would I do that with you? And I said, what? That's the wrong answer. And he goes, no, I'm going to go and tell my friend I want to go traveling with Basil. Now, he's only 9 years old. But the thought that he thought that actually in this virtual world that we're creating, he can travel with his friend that he probably couldn't do in the real world at that age. And then what happens is they get on a mission to, you know, learn how to cook a curry, for example. They have to buy the ingredients. They go to the market and then they set a task to negotiate a certain price. If you negotiate that price, you get more tokens that you can then spend for experiences. And so that way they're learning street culture without even going to that place. And parents are happy that they're learning and having fun doing it.
Yeah. And I think that's so important because I sometimes feel like parents, they might, because I know we have so many newcomers here, so they're already like struggling to adjust in Canada. I feel like a lot of them don't know how to teach their children about other cultures or countries when they're like, well, we're all trying to adjust here. How do I teach you about other countries or cultures that I've never been to, right? Like moving to Toronto, which is so multicultural, I learned so much more here than I did growing up because just again the sheer number of immigrants that come to Toronto, and now I'm being able to go to different heritage months or celebrations, and then I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. This kind of tastes like Indian food. Okay, it's cool, like the spices, like everything always tastes like Indian food to me. I'm always like, okay, anything remotely has spice, I'm like Moroccan food, like Indian food, Thai food, coconut, I get it, like it's so funny, like how it's almost like we're all kind of connected.
Yeah. And it's true. When you look at the back of our packs and the spices that we use, they're probably similar spices, but in different ratios create a different flavor.
Exactly.
And with the different ingredients. So that's where the magic happens, with the food, flavor. We're going to the extent where we want to create a 5D experience, where we can even regulate your body temperature and make you feel hot if you're experiencing Morocco through our virtual world.
That's a bit of a mind trip.
Yeah, so that's that's where we're heading. That there's no other food brand that can create that kind of immersive experience and storytell, because storytelling, we know.
Yeah, it really is storytelling in a box.
Yeah, it really does open up the mind, and you get to feel. And you see the impact that you're making, that why wouldn't you keep coming back for more? That's the whole idea.
Of course. So, I love the whole concept. As soon as I saw you, I was like, first of all, I love female entrepreneurs. You could hear the passion. And also I was like, what a great idea. I'm like, I want one of these. I know it started out for kids. Thankfully, it's for everybody now. But I was like, I would totally take that for a lunch at work or when I'm out and about. Like, why not, right? So.
Exactly. I'm starting to wonder, what did I used to eat before Nom Noms? Because like I get my wrap at lunch, and what I used to do is I'd get so hungry, I'm so busy, I'll go and eat chips or something and cookies or whatever just to satisfy the hunger and keep on working. And now I just grab my wrap out of the fridge or freezer, eat it, and it's like 30 grams of protein, all healthy. I was like, yes,
there you go.
Solving a problem, but it's solving my problem. And it was funny because for the first 5 years, I couldn't actually get my product. Like we only launched in Pusatari's here in August. So I'm selling my product and I couldn't even have my own product. My kids couldn't even eat Nom Noms at home. And that was kind of strange because we've created it to solve a problem, our own problem, but we didn't have it. And now we have it, and it's so much easier. And we're thinking, God, everybody needs some Nom Noms action.
Of course. That's the new, so everyone needs a little Nom Noms.
Yeah.
So that brings me to, I know you've had a lot of struggles, but I feel like you're in a place where hopefully you're figure-wise in terms of being able to make some money. We're at that point yet. So let me ask you, are you profitable now?
Yeah, so in terms of a profitable until now, no, because every single expense, every single cash has gone back into the business, try to keep it going. However, what we're doing is we're building a profitable business model.
Okay.
Now, when you hear in the media and you read a lot about these other companies that are, heavy losses, and it just seems to be a trend. I just came back from Silicon Valley last week, and Uber's, billions of losses, and, WeWork and all of that. And it's like, why are they building businesses like this at a huge loss? And now I understand why they do that, because they're going for market dominance, world dominance, so they need to invest. However, we've got, 3 different models, but the one that we are focused on right now is a profitable business model, and we'll be profitable in month 5 as soon as we get investment. Until that investment comes, it's all, every penny's going into it. It's getting sucked into keeping the lights on, and keep going. But when the investment comes, then that's a profitable business model that we go through. Yeah.
Okay. And then do we have an idea of how many units you sold?
Well, we know that we've served 800,000 meals already to these kids to keep them off the street and in school. I haven't got that number in total. It's
Because
probably
I feel like I would have celebrated when it's like the 1 millionth, you know, box has been sold, and I would be like jumping out and surprising that. Hopefully, it's the same woman from the first time, and be like, "Hey, remember me? Well, you just got our 1 millionth." Like,
well, that's a good point. I'm going to go back and figure
if you
out
can time it out.
how
like,
many are we up to. We are on a different mission, though. We're on a mission to feed 1 million kids in the next year. So we're up to 800,000. We want to get to that million mark. So I guess that is more of a priority than how many units we sold. But I'm going to find out now and
well, it's your baby,
make sure
so I know
celebrate.
it's a sense of pride to be like the first one, but then also like you know, it's just something to be like, oh, you know, like who would have thought, like all those struggles, like now we're at a point where someone has bought the 1 millionth box, right? So I just thought it would be like a moment of being like,
yes,
we made it.
Right? Like, that's good.
It's good to have those celebrations because it can, you know, especially once things start going well, it can be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm used to things going well now, but it's always like nice to remember that Lisa that was standing there when the first unit was sold and being like, yes, somebody bought it. Like I'm not a total disaster, right? Like
exactly. Yeah. It's true. So true. The kids were so excited just to see Nom Noms on the shelf at Pusateri. You know, I had the T-shirts for the demo ladies, and they were in large and extra large, and you know, in the car. They thought the T-shirts were for them. 3 of them put these large T-shirts on, right? And we're going to Pusateri. You know, is that Nom Noms? That's our Nom Noms. And it was just like, wow, you know, so cute. I never even pictured this. And then my parents were here at the time when we launched. And so they were feeling so proud. And I was like, oh, wow. Actually, because it was so stressful just to make it on the shelf. You know, that journey that product takes to get there, that I was already exhausted by the time we launched. But then seeing their reaction really hit home, that thinking, oh, wow, actually we did. We've made it on the shelf. This is great. So, yeah, you're right. You know, these moments matter a lot.
They do.
And they're short-lived, you know, like it's always the next thing now.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I feel like with a lot of entrepreneurs. They get so used to like just bigger and better that, you know, they almost like miss out on that like moment of being like, oh, like here's that person who bought her 100th, you know, just because it's just like, even if you're used to selling like millions and you will eventually get to the point where you'll be like, oh, geez, 1 million in 6 months. Okay. Like we need more manufacturers. It's just nice to like have those moments to be like, I remember that day when I wanted to quit, and now look, like just proof that I did the right thing. It wasn't easy, but you know, I kept pushing on, and here we are.
Exactly. That's a good one. We're definitely going to do that. What we are going to do though is, you know, like Willy Wonka and the chocolate Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So we're going to do golden ticket to the destination of the flavor.
Ooh,
So
when is that rolling out?
Yeah, I'll let you know. So
that's really cool.
Yeah. So there'll be a golden ticket in one of the wraps. You know, it could be Caribbean, Mexican, Indian, whatever. If you find that one, that's an all-inclusive flight and accommodation. So we'll be able to do fun things like that.
Of course. That's like the best time when you have some momentum. Now you're like, okay, now it's not about survival. Now it's like, can we have some fun with this? Like, how can we like come up with new ways to promote? So congratulations.
Thank you.
That's like amazing. Like that's why as soon as I saw you, I was like, hey, she's got to win. Like she won. Okay, good. And then you had the briefcase. So I was like, okay, she's got $1 million in there for sure. Because it reminds you of those Deal or No Deal briefcases, right? So I was like, she's got money in there. Yeah. Money and secrets.
Yeah.
Lisa, before I let you go, you know, I know other entrepreneurs will be watching this.
Yeah.
I hope they like love your story. I hope they can relate to it. I wanted to ask you, in the 6 years now, if you could sit down with any of the entrepreneurs that are up and coming, or maybe they're just at the idea and they're thinking of executing, what were some things that you did right that you would recommend for them to do? And what were some things that you like that did not go well for you that you would tell everybody, please avoid this at all costs?
Yeah. So things that I did right was listen to my gut feel. 'Cause sometimes you get pushed away, you know, you get distracted, and you have this strong gut feel. It could be a gut feel, it could be a belief that, you know, you need to do that. And the best way to measure that is you don't want to have any regrets. What if you just gave up and somebody else did your idea? How would you feel when you were nearly there, right? So it just makes you feel like, I'm going to give it all my best, because then I won't have any regrets that it didn't work. If it did work, that's great. If it doesn't work, you know, I gave it all my best and I feel comfortable with that. the worst is when you don't, you give up, and then you have that guilt, you know, and you see someone else kind of doing it, making it out there, and you just like, I should have done it. So that's one thing that's kept me going. To have that strong, go with your gut feel. Mine does matter. The gut feel is quite, very close there too. So do listen to it. The other thing is try to identify the agenda of people that come in your path.
Okay.
Because it's very difficult. You often go with people that tell you what you want to hear. Right? They come and solve your problems. I'll come and join you. I can do this for you, do this for you. And you're thinking, okay, great. Find out what the cost is up front too, because you can get a massive bill later on, and you're being naive, thinking, oh, that person was trying to help me. No, people don't just help you.
There's no free lunch.
No, there is no free lunch, and you need to accept that. Doesn't matter how nice someone is, always be skeptical, and it takes time to develop skepticism, but you've got to do that, because if you trust every single one, you're going to keep getting disappointed. And so I would try to be skeptical as much as possible, and then let them prove you wrong. And that could be with anyone that you hire, any partner that you take on board. Just be very, very strong-willed, and you have to be strong. You can't let people walk all over you. And that seemed to be happening quite a lot too, being a female entrepreneur. There was this one case where I pitched it to an investor, and everything was great. He was loving it, had the food. And then he looked at the broker and said, so who's going to run the business? And looked at the broker. Excuse me?
Yeah.
I'm going to run the business, right?
Why did he question that?
It's gender bias. It's just, unfortunately, and it's what I found being an entrepreneur, that exists, because I never felt that in my corporate land. Never felt. I looked after the Middle East, and I did so well, as a female, over there doing business, and in India and Russia, everywhere, and I had no problem. But as an entrepreneur, and trying to raise capital, there seems to be some gender bias. They seem to think you can't be a mom and run a family and run a multi-million-dollar business. They seem to think that, and there's only a few that think otherwise. But otherwise, it's just, even if it's subconsciously, it's there. So if you're a female entrepreneur, be aware of that. Don't let it get you down. And you just got to keep breaking through, because you have to believe in yourself, that you're capable of doing it.
Do you find when you're pitching, is it still very much men that are the... See, that's an issue too, because one of the things I love about Dragon's Den is they have female entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So I feel like when you have that, even though I try not to get into genders, good business idea is a good business idea, but I feel like when you do have female investors, they get it. So they're not going to look at you and be like, well, Lisa, who's going to run the company? Because they themselves are running their own company. So they get it. They're like, if I'm doing it, you can do it, right?
Exactly. And, we know for our products that females are the biggest purchasers of our products. So to be able to relate to that, to be able to relate to the mom that is trying to juggle, soccer practice, ballet, work, dinner, all these things, and a professional life, they get it. They see where we're coming from. And how many times I've had buyers come and hug me, say, thank you for bringing Nom Noms to America. That's what I'm like, you're welcome. Because they can see that, this is a problem I've always had, and now there's a solution. Whereas men don't have the same kind of juggles, that we have, or constraints, in terms of, and expectations. So they don't see it from our perspective as easily. And it requires some astute investors that can see the benefit of the product, the business, and the entrepreneur behind it. That matters. No one else can run the company as much as the founder initially anyway. Later on, that's a different story. But initially, you know everything about your business. So,
Okay, well, I think that's some great advice. Thank you so much for sharing that with us and your story.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure. Of course. And I can't wait to walk everywhere and every retailer, and just constantly see Nom Noms and new products coming out, and maybe that golden ticket.
Yes. There you go.
Thanks again. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Subscribe now to watch more videos like this.